So, with Battlefield 6 released already over a little over a month, I'd say I genuinely like the game, and I definitely think that it's taken its roots from Battlefield 3 and 4. I would say it's a decent successor to its playstyle and aesthetics of those titles, as opposed to something like 2042. I just felt like 2042 DICE missed the mark on that. I mean, the game was fun and all, and I've played it ever since it came out, so I was during in the most buggiest phase of that game. But in the last year or two, the game did come out to be pretty fun casually. Um, but put it this way, in the 4 years I've had that game, put only about 342 hours into it. And then with Battlefield 6, I've already put in a little over 160 hours. So not big numbers by any means, but kind of shows you how much I'm enjoying that game. Um, Battlefield 1 and 5 were also great games, but I think this is in the right direction DICE needs to be taken with Battlefield 6. And as long as they continue to add content and fix problems that the community has expressed, I think it'll be an okay game. Um, it's hard to say with how DICE is. Usually they love to remove or add items that no one asked for, so we'll see how Battlefield 6 comes out. But this video kind of want to focus about ranking the main battle tank shells. Battlefield multiplayer, there's two factions. You have Pax Armada and NATO, each with their own main battle tank. NATO gets the M1A2 SEP V3, basically a variant of the M1 Abrams, and then Pax Armada gets the Leopard 2. Both tanks have the same weapon and equipment loadout, and the main cannon itself has 5 different shells. You have multi-purpose, armor-piercing, anti-personnel, high-explosive, and aim-guided. Each shell has its unique uses, and the cool thing about it is you can equip 2 shells per loadout, in a game, so allowing you to switch and adds to adaptability, so actually a great part of that. Any testing I do in this video are based on hitting armor perpendicular to their surface and within 15 meters. So the first shell we have here is our multi-purpose. These shells are the shells you unlock with standard shell, nothing special. Gets the job done. They'll do about 350 to the sides of the tank, 205 to the front, and about 595 to the rear. Shell damage again depends on how you hit the angle, how you hit the armor based on the angle. Multi-purpose shells do about 485 to the infantry fighting vehicles, 304 to the front, and 595 to the rear. Like I said, multi-purpose shells get the job done. They don't really specialize in any target, so I think it's fair to say I'd put it in C tier. Second shell we have here is our armor-piercing shell. The shell does a little more damage than the multi-purpose shell to vehicles, but effectively no splash damage. So they aren't the best against infantry, but perfect if you hit a vehicle's vulnerable sides or rear. AP shells do about 400 to the sides of main battle tanks and 680 to the rears, allowing you to pretty much two-shot a tank in the rear in every case. For IVs, AP round does about 550 to the sides and 680 to the rear. So you could really two-shot a IV to the side if you hit it just right. AP shells do have a higher velocity than multi-purpose shells, so perfect for longer range engagement. You don't have to lead your target so much. Actually, I did a quick range test, but at 235 meters, multi-purpose shells drop significantly lower than the AP shells, and you can actually tell the difference in velocity. And AP shells was honestly my favorite, my second favorite before. I used to use aim guided, but I started using AP shells more and realized most times you encounter a vehicle or a tank or something, and you want to have something that do a little bit more damage. So for those reasons, I'll give it a A tier. Third shell is the high explosive shell. These shells are pretty good against soft targets like infantry due to increased explosive radius, but they're not very good against armor vehicles. They do about 290 to the main battle tanks on the sides, 485 to the rears, and around 170 to the front. For IVs, they do about 390 to the sides and 485 to the rears. About 248 to the front. One thing I do want to say about HE shells is they travel slightly slower than most shells, so you got to lead your shot a little bit more, better for close to medium range. Um, did another test at 235 meters. You can see the HE shells hit lower than the multi-purpose shells. Um, HE shells are perfect for infantry hiding in buildings because of the splash damage or behind walls. And for that reason, I'd put it in B tier. This is my go-to as an alternative because encounter infantry behind cover, behind a wall, and you want to do something to take them out. The fourth shell we have here is the anti-personnel shell. 2042, it was called canister shot, so I may use that interchangeably, but these shells are designed to target infantry and totally ineffective to armor. They fire multiple projectiles in a cone shape, similar to like a shotgun spread, but in the description it says effective up to medium range, but honestly I wouldn't use it for medium range. After about 40-50 meters, the spread is so great. I mean, you got to hit an infantry 3 times, and with the reload time and them moving, I just feel like HE shows it's better in that situation. Plus, you don't always need a direct hit with HE shells to do some damage. And again, anti-personnel shells, they do no damage to vehicles, so you know, at that point you probably best to switch to your coax gun, machine gun or something. But for those reasons, honestly give it an F tier. I don't know what could fix this. Maybe increased damage, more projectiles, a tighter spread. It's just at the moment, it's just not a good shell to have. You're wasting a slot if you use it. Finally, we have the aim-guided missile. This was my top favorite up until I started using AP shells more, but perfect for long-range engagement. They have decent explosive payload, and from as far as I can tell, they can hit targets up to 1,000 meters. They do about 365 to the sides of tanks, 212 to the front, and around 616 to the rear. IVs, they do about 495 to the sides and 316 to the front, about 616 to the rears. Again, aim-guided shells are mainly used for long range. People love to use them camping on Operation Firestorm. Sit up on the mountain and pretty much camp your base. That's another thing DICE has to fix. And they also love to use them on helicopters and jets, so I'm sure if you played the game, you've experienced that. For those reasons, I'd honestly put it in B tier. I think HE shells and aim guided, they're pretty good for what they do. Definitely put those in your alternate slot, and then your main should be AP. But again, this is my list. These lists aren't end all be all. But you can clearly tell which are my favorite. Let me know if I missed anything, or if you want me to do a damage assessment with each shell. I'm varying on ranges. But there's a couple of things DICE has to fix with Battlefield 6. Multiplayer wise, netcode, lag, latency. Some of that stuff is just really does need to be fixed, but let me know what you think about Battlefield 6, how you think it's coming along, and where you hope it heads to. Again, thanks for watching.